to quit a debate where we're literally debating about the importance of free speech. Do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been a
picture? You have Anna Kasparian here, and she's talking about this. The Young Turks called Charlie Kirk a fascist how many times? The Young Turks played into this rhetoric how much? They went...
Well, let me tell you something. Andrew Wilson is sounding off on Piers Morgan's show. I did miss this one. And he is basically calling everybody out. And Anna Kasparian looks like she's ready to eat Andrew Wilson. No, maybe not eat, but like the death stare on Anna Kasparian right now is crazy, guys. We're going to get right into this clip. Let me tell you, so just to introduce this is a discussion about the left-right divide and, you know, with, of course, the sad assassination of Charlie Kirk. My heart goes out and heart and prayers goes out to his family. But this has sparked a debate about how did we get here. And as much as I don't really do the left-right thing anymore, it is still a thing. And I think that, you know, of course, I mean, listen, this assassination was shocking. I mean, it was bone chilling. And then to hear that people were celebrating it is out of pocket. So let's get into the clip and then we'll break down the whole dynamics. And not even just Anna Kasparian, then that other guy, that black guy with the hair, I forgot his name already, Cornell West, he look like he gets ready to sound off and leave. This is pretty explosive. Let's get into it.
Went out of their way to do so. Reuben recently called him out for doing it. So
I just called him a fascist.
Hang on.
I've literally never. I don't even call Trump a fascist.
I didn't interrupt you once, lady.
But you can't make things up about what I've said about Charlie Kirk.
You can talk when I'm done talking, like I was respectful enough to let you do. So the thing is like, yes, they do. This network does do that, and these leftists do that. And they set all the rhetoric up in the world to make sure something like this happened, and they were dancing on the grave of this guy before he was even cold. I have tweets from Destiny which are insane. The leftists have gone off the reservation. And it's time for us to stop pretending that it's not their rhetoric which is leading to these types of assassinations, because it is. I don't want to hear about factions. All of you guys are doing this. All of you guys have the same type of rhetoric which leads to this, or the networks you work for do.
Well, Anna, let me let you respond to that before I bring Cornell in.
I've never called him... I have never called Charlie Kirk a fascist, number one. In fact, if anything, we have received a tremendous amount... I don't remember Trump. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. In fact, Cenk and I got into a debate about whether or not, hold on. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. He called Trump a fascist, and he and I got into a debate about that. But to lump in everyone on the left together, I don't agree with Destiny on anything these days. Destiny is totally unhinged in his rhetoric, 100%. I have been critical of Charlie Kirk's political views, but going around referring to people as Nazis, you know, turning the temperature up, I did not engage in that. So I just want you to at least be fair about what I've actually said about Charlie.
There's no actual reason for us to believe leftists at this point. It's very clear that while they come out with a handshake and wanting to have these conversations, they claim, right? In reality, what they're doing is they have murderous intent, and they'll celebrate you the day that you die. The next day, they'll go after your wife. Thousands of social media accounts going after her wife, or this guy's wife, after she made a speech about her poor husband. Yes, it is your side that's doing that. Like it or not, it's your side that's doing that. There's no equivalency between the right and the left on this. Yeah, okay, fine. You're not a leftist. I'm sorry. Are you on the left wing? Are you a Democrat? Are you more of a Democrat than you are a Republican? Do you move towards those types of issues?
I'm not a Democrat. I actually registered as an independent.
Fine. You register as an independent.
Come on, you gotta at least know what my views are if you're going to attack me.
All right, let me bring in. All right, let me bring in.
I've been attacked by the left over the last 3 years.
All right, let me bring in.
No. I've been attacked by the left. No, let me just at least address that. I've been attacked viciously by leftists over the last 3 years because of the fact that I want to engage in this type of dialogue, because of the fact I was willing to sit down with Charlie Kirk and with Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro. I'm willing to have conversations, and I don't go around labeling people as fascist and racist and Nazis just because I disagree with them.
Just the organization you work for does?
At least understand what my political views are. Listen. I'm not going to be blamed for what everyone in that company has to say. Anyone in that company has to say.
The
I'm
head
an individual.
of that company?
We are supposed to judge people based on individuals. He did not go around calling Charlie Kirk a fascist and a Nazi.
I'm saying that you don't have good reasoning skills. If it's the case that you think, oh my God, you can't be calling people Nazis. You can't be calling people Nazis while your boss does all the time.
Why are you making that up? You're just making it up. You're just making it up. We're all the same. That's how simple-minded you are. You're all the same.
It's not simple-minded to point out the truth.
Everyone on the right is just like Dylan Roof.
All right. Let me bring in Cornell West. I want to bring in Cornell West. I want to bring in Cornell. He's been waiting.
Shut up,
please, let Cornell come in now. He's been waiting.
Well, before we let Cornell come in, who's another one, let's address that for a second. When it comes to the individual Charlie Kirk, the Young Turks, Cenk and Anna did not, well, I will say recently call him a fascist. They actually were on... They did do screen time with him. They did a show with him, like a video, whatever you want to call it, an airing. It was during the RNC. Yeah, it was during the RNC, and Charlie Kirk did sit down with Cenk. And actually, Charlie Kirk and Cenk actually did get along because Cenk ended up going to one of the TPSA conferences and everything. So they were able to, maybe in the past he did call him that, who knows, but they were able to put their differences aside. They were able to come together. So I do remember that, and I do have to give at least that kind of credit there, because at the end of the day, we all argue, because to be honest, Andrew Wilson is making some good points, but if we want to go, toe for toe, when Cenk was, going to meet with the right, and it was Charlie Kirk who was welcoming him in, Andrew Wilson did say, well, yeah, you're meeting with the right. What, Charlie Kirk, the most like I think he said, not moderate, the most weakest one of us all, or something like that, right? I'm loosely quoting, because I had come on, please. You already know how I felt about what a lot of the stuff Charlie Kirk was saying. So, of course, let us not act like everybody didn't have a past. And I will say that Cenk and Charlie were able to start, working together, okay? But Cenk was all about that life, calling people Nazis. In fact, they do that. The left does that. They do call people that name. They do. I mean, I've been called that name. It's insane. It's like, what is the problem? When you start labeling people, the problem is look, that's why I feel like, for me, the safest way to go is to always bring God into it and say, I'm doing this in the name of the Lord. I'm doing this in the name of the Lord, because that's the only way I'm going to remember not to, number one, go too far, and just, bring it back to God and ask God to bless this broadcasting, so that anybody hearing it can only find peace and enlightenment from it, not, anything to work them up and get them pissed off to go do something ridiculous. But I can't control what people do. But when you do have influencers who are always calling people these names and stuff, you got some insane people who are listening, and they're like, oh yeah, Trump is Hitler, Trump is, and child, please, of all the people, Trump certainly is not. Now, if he is anything, he is not no daggone H. We know that. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring Cornell West into it. While we're at it, guys, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell.
Very patiently. Cornell, welcome back to Uncensored, where things are getting incendiary quite quickly. I think the overriding point I would make about the debate we've just been hearing between Andrew and Anna is that there is little doubt to me that the constant rhetoric on the left, the woke left, let me be specific to where I think a lot of the blame lies, ever since Donald Trump came into power in 2016, has been this relentless use of the phrases Hitler, Nazis, fascists about Trump and about Trump supporters. And the problem with constantly saying this as a group, as the woke left have done for 9 years now, is that eventually it permeates down to young, impressionable minds who genuinely believe that it is their mission to stop America from being taken over by the new Nazis or the new fascists or the new Hitler. And that leads to the kind of thing we saw with Charlie Kirk. Do you agree that this language, this relentless, in my view, woeful misuse, particularly of the word Nazi, towards Trump and his supporters, this is part of the problem?
Well, I think part of the deeper problem, though, Brother Piers, is that the organized greed and weaponized hatred and routinized indifference toward the vulnerable has come together in such a way that it has eroded the sources of character formation. So that integrity, honesty, decency, and self-critical sensibilities of individuals and groups is more and more disappearing. So you end up with because hatred itself is promiscuous, just like greed, just like indifference toward the suffering of others. It's promiscuous. It will lie with the left, right, center. It lies with Christians. It lies with Muslims. It lies with Jews. It lies with Buddhists. It lies with Hindus. And human beings were so wretched in the first place. If we don't undergo some kind of spiritual and moral cultivation, we end up falling back on greed and hatred and indifference. And I mean, the American empire at this moment is one in which the lethal combination of the hatred and the greed and the indifference generates very much the exchange that we just saw. You see, this brother right here says, well, all leftists want to see me dead. Well, I'm a leftist. I don't want to see you dead. I'm a Christian.
You called Trump's administration a neo-fascist movement, you lunatic. You people have gone out
You're
of your way.
absolutely right.
You have gone out of your way.
No, let me make the
to
case.
Do everything
let me make
to
the
cultivate
case.
this.
Let me make the case.
Oh, yeah,
Will you
just
allow
made
me
your
to speak,
case.
brother? Come
You
on,
just
man.
made your
Come on.
case.
No, you haven't made the case. If you think I've made the case, then you're not understanding dialogue.
You just said this brother over here said this.
You're very, very different than Brother Charlie, man. You're very different than Charlie, though, man. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I can
it's
make
rhetoric
a case
for
for
the
that,
people
too.
like you that got that man killed, sir.
No. There are such a thing as neo-fascists. But Piers, why you have a brother on who's not going to allow nobody to speak, man? We're just wasting time. If all you're interested in is making your money and you bring this brother on it and nobody can say a word and we can't even mourn Brother Charlie passing. I had dialogues with Brother Charlie. This brother's going to say, oh, this kumbaya and so forth. No. Charlie was made in the image of a loving and mighty God. I believe that. I say my prayers for Sister Erica and the kids because this brother wants to trash my Christian sensibility. And look at him laughing now. It's a joke, man. Piers, it's not worth it.
Is Charlie Kirk part of the neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Is he part of your neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Yeah.
When Charlie himself says that he is against Civil Rights Act, does that make him a proponent of Jim Crow? When he calls Martin Luther King Jr. an awful human being and a scumbag? I'm critical of that. I am critical of that. You're absolutely right, Brother Wilson. You're absolutely right. But if all you're going to do is be arrogant, you're arrogant just like the so-called leftists you're talking about. But Piers, you making your money, brother. Go on and make your money, man.
It's all about making.
Not worth it.
Cornell,
this brother
it's all about
here
making money.
Part of the problem. This other brother who has a deep connection to Charlie, he's willing to at least listen. But this brother's not willing to listen.
Cornell, can you sit down? I would like you to remain part of the debate.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He's smoking his cigarettes with his arrogant self. Come on, man. We don't have enough dialogue at all.
Surely you're not going to walk out in a debate about dialogue.
Go on and make your money, man.
Right.
Well, we will to be continue this one because like there's the part where Destiny comes in and I think it just gets even probably more crazier. Like, but wow, like so he really did just throw him off. Listen, the last part that he said, look, to be honest, I don't know why Cornell stormed off. Like, y'all were calling people these names. Like, all right, now they talking back to you. That's it. Like, they have a right not to like it, you know? And just like you didn't have a right, just like you had a right not to like when Charlie Kirk called MLK a bad guy. Although those are the points that I agree with Charlie Kirk. It's just so crazy because it's like he's not that bad to me as far as the stuff that he's saying. It's just that the problem is that he doesn't tell the whole truth about why MLK is a bad guy. They wanted to start doing this thing about MLK was a bad guy because something about women were getting touched or something. I'm just like, that's not why he was a bad guy, okay? He was Zionist owned, but most of you guys are, so nobody wants to bring it up. So that's why people get mad and think that you just hate black people when you say stuff like that. Like, we're going to tell the truth, Civil rights movement and other, Jewish propaganda should have never happened. Anywho, this is pretty interesting, guys. I think we're just going to do number 2 pretty soon. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.